Hey, welcome everybody to the Sharpe Way show. I know it's 7:30. Some of you getting on my case about me, showing up at 7:30. I get it. But the reality of it is I'm trying to get everything done that I possibly can get done during the day so that I can bring you this, I hope, super, super cool show every evening. So thank you for your patience. 7:30 here on the East Coast. And as always, please, guys, if you like what I'm doing, like, comment, share. I know I bring it up often, but it does matter. Please like, comment, and share. Pop those things out there. Let people know that this is going on. I'm bringing up a different but similar topic that I did yesterday. And a lot of people, I got a lot of response yesterday, a lot of feedback yesterday from my show because I touched on the race issue. And a lot of people were talking, Larry, you know what? You should stay on the race issue a little bit. We want to kind of hear more about it. Let's do it again. So I'm going to touch it again. And I hope it doesn't drive some of you crazy. But I'm going to bring up a part that a lot of people who aren't part of, a Black conservative movement or Black libertarian movement even, usually don't really talk much about. And that is the idea on how conservatives or Republican Party in specific, how they reach out, right? How the Republican Party as an organization reaches out to the Black community. And there are some issues with that, clearly. And there are two different sides of this, right? There are a lot of sides to this. And I want to bring up something that affected me. As many of you know, I'm a friend of Maj Toure, clearly sometimes a very controversial character in the liberty movement, but he is absolutely libertarian. And I support him and he's my friend. And it makes people angry, I know. And if you don't like him, then that's one of the things we'll disagree upon. And I'm okay with that. I still love you. I hope you still love me. But I am a Maj Toure supporter. I was with him last year doing a solutionary summit, trying to reach out to the Black 2A community, which is a tough community to get a hold of, a libertarian movement. We're not good at it. The Libertarian Party struggles with this tremendously, and Maj is awesome at this. So why wouldn't I want him on our team, right? He's very good at that. And he was at CPAC. He was at CPAC with a panel, and his panel was a little bit controversial. Shocker. But he was on the money with it, and there was a lot of critiques about it. And one of the people who critiqued him was a gentleman named Brandon Tatum, who goes by the moniker Officer Tatum. And he did a video on it. And he was mad and upset, and they've gone back and forth. I want to bring up what he said, and I want to react to what Officer Tatum talked about. And to him as a person and as some other things, he was not very kind. I may return the favor. That's all I'm saying. And I may not, but I may return the favor. Let me show you what he posted and how he dealt with this. This is him, and here's how he starts.
Is she hating or no?
See, you're supposed to be impressed by the dun. I was impressed. I hope you were.
This video is brought to you by The Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to my channel. Hit that join button so you can join the Tatum Squad. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video.
Now, I ask you to like, comment, and share too. Clearly not as cool as he does. He does it much cooler. But something you hear him use 45 times. His name. You know it's the Officer Tatum Show, right? Because you clicked on it. You know it's the Sharpe Way Show. I have it posted everywhere. Do I have to do I even say who I am? Do you hear me go, hi, it's Larry Sharpe? Do I even say who I am? No. It's branded everywhere. If you don't know you're watching the Sharpe Way Show, you got other problems. So that's there. Why does he have to say his name 45 times? But the best part of the intro is that his sponsor is the Officer Tatum Store. That's the sponsor. So his sponsor is him. Not that it's a bad thing. I get that, right? He's basically saying, buy my stuff. No worries. I say buy my stuff too. So there's no worries to buy my stuff also. But I don't pretend that me being a sponsor, I don't pretend that me saying, hey, give me money makes me a sponsor. It's my show. So he has one sponsor, himself. And he goes, sponsored by, brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store. That's you. And you're speaking to yourself in third person. You have no issues at all. I'm sure you're totally fine. You have no insecurities whatsoever. as you wear your Trump 2020 hat.
Let's get into this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't go to CPAC this year. I
Yep.
had no desire to go to CPAC. One of the
Now you know that's absolutely more garbage. You see how defensive he is. He said I didn't go. He couldn't just say, I was busy or they didn't invite me. I had no desire to go because you're super cool. Of course, they were begging you. They were on their knees begging you. And you, of course, said, peasants, get away from me. Wow. You know, if you're a psychiatrist or if you're a psychologist or if you're a therapist, this guy's textbook.
Major reasons why I didn't attend CPAC, even though people wanted me to go to CPAC, is because I had a baby. And which one is more important, CPAC or the birth of my son? So
that's not selfish at all.
I didn't go to CPAC this year. And even if I was invited, I'm not too enthusiastic about being there. Nothing.
Even if I was invited, because you weren't, but that's fine. That's fine. Even if I was, that's fine.
Against anybody that want to go. It's just me. I just don't. I've been around too many fake conservatives and stuff that I really just don't want to be there.
I
don't
know.
want to be around certain people.
Of course,
that's for another video. But let me play this clip because this was brought to my attention. I saw it on the Instagram, and it is about Black conservatives.
Yes.
And this young lady, I have no idea who she is. I never
heard
of her a day in my life.
That's okay. I didn't know who you were either, so I guess that's fair. I didn't know who you were until someone told me about you trying to get mad at Maj, so that's why I figured out who you were. So I guess that's fair.
Nothing against her. It's not personal. I'm going to talk about the concept in which she's referring to.
Okay, do that.
This is not just her. It's a bunch of people, and probably the majority of people on this panel I'm about to show you probably feels the same way about this subject matter, which I 100% disagree with.
Of course you do.
I think that there's underlying messaging here that
there's underlying message. Okay, look, show me what's going on here. I want to hear. I want
to talk about. Now, this is my personal opinion. You know, hey, you don't have to like it or whatever the case may be.
It's fine.
Let's roll the film. So let's go through the panel real quick because I know.
Now, I know what you're going to do because you are a savvy debater who understands the nuances of discussion. So you are going to go through each person and explain their strengths and weaknesses and their thought processes so that we can make in our own decision on what's right and what's wrong. And you're going to, do some highlights of good points and bad points. Yeah, not at all.
I happen to know a few people on this panel. This is a panel at CPAC. I'm assuming it's about Black conservatives because I think she was talking about it. I heard Adrian Norman talking about it.
Wow, you figured that out. So the American Conservative Union held CPAC, and there's a panel, and it's all Black people, and you figured out this is probably on Black conservatives. Killing it, brother. Killing it. Keep going.
So, this gentleman here is Maj Toure. Maj Toure, I believe, in my personal opinion, have zero credibility as far as I'm concerned. Maj Toure ain't even his real name.
So, I'm sorry. Maj Toure isn't his real name. So, officer is yours? Officer is your name? Is that correct? When you were born, your mom said, that kid, officer. Officer's not your name. You go by a moniker. Why can't he? And you're not even an officer anymore. That's just a title you use because you're insecure and you think you have no value. So you add titles and monikers to try to make us feel impressed with music like "Durr" and saying that your store supports you, which is just you. You are just facade. Maj is not. Maj is not. You are dying for street cred because you don't have any. He actually has some.
No respect for this person.
Of course you don't.
This is Adrian Norman.
Feelings mutual.
Adrian personally. Adrian and I disagree, but I believe Adrian is exactly who he portrays himself to be. He's on this stage saying the things he say. Some things I agree with, some things I don't, but that's who you're going to get. This person ain't who he say he is.
Yeah, he's exactly who he says he is. I know him. He's not. You, though, my friend, are not an officer. And you say you are. Who is the person who's not who they say they are? Maj isn't saying he's a cop. You're saying you're one. You're not.
I don't know this person. I don't know this person. Angela Stanton.
They don't know you either. It's fine.
Sitting here, and she's incredibly disingenuous. She criticized me publicly for marriage.
You know what I'm finding? Everybody who criticizes you is disingenuous. I guess I'm now disingenuous then. I'll join the club.
A white woman, so I don't believe anything she say, and I think this
she seems to like me. I've met her more than once. She seems to like me. We were in a panel together. She didn't seem angry at me at all. I don't know. I like white people too. She's not mad at me.
Lady is Sonny Johnson.
Could be
whom
you.
I never met before, but I know she hates Candace Owens with a passion. So that's setting up this panel.
Go
So
ahead.
when this young lady speak, I believe majority of the people in this panel agree with what she's saying.
I think you're right.
And this is kind of the perspective that we're coming with. So let me play what she had to say, and then I'm gonna make my commentary right after that.
Please do that.
The film.
Yeah, he's clicking. He goes roll the film, then he clicks. I love that. He says roll the film, then he clicks because there's somebody else. This man is just a facade. If there was a picture under imposter syndrome in the dictionary, it would be him. That would be the picture. That's who it would be. It would be him. He is just a facade. You know who's doing my work here? Me. I'm not going roll the film as I click. Everything he talks about, everything he is fake. Everything he is fake. Yet he'll point to everyone else and be fake.
They've been able to do that by being more inclusive. And I think that's something that we can learn in the conservative party.
I would agree.
Not just one type of black conservative.
I would agree.
I feel like that's where we failed over the last 4 years.
What is wrong with a woman saying there's not one type of black conservative? I think that's accurate. There's not one type of any conservative and not one type of black anything, right? This is not the case at all. She's right.
One type of black conservative, and just because white people like them, it was like, oh yeah, we love her. Oh God, she has her own thinking, you know. Oh yeah, woo. But
she's talking about Candace Owens. Just so y'all know, she's talking about Candace Owens.
Everyone knew
that
that
wasn't necessarily who black, the black people really identify with. And I like to kind of make this analogy. A lot of people
look how he doesn't like that. Now look, I have made clear I'm not a Candace Owens fan. But people actually do like Candace Owens. That's a fact. People do like her. However, most of the people who like her aren't black. That's just a fact. I'm not being mean on this. I'm telling the truth. Most of them aren't. And she's bringing up a valid point. A lot of black people don't like Candace Owens. That's true. He's acting like it's not true. She's trying to explain why it's true.
People are familiar with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down. Okay, just say Carlton and Will were both conservatives. Carlton could go to Bel-Air and he could talk to the people of Bel-Air all day long, but you could not send Carlton to Philly to talk to those people. You would have had to send Will to talk to the people who had the same type of life experiences that Will had. Yeah.
Now, this is not crazy. They're going, yeah, they're actually clapping. The audience, by the way, is filled with white people. And they're going, yeah, you're right. There's sometimes we don't connect well. It's true. And this isn't a white or black thing. It's an experience thing. And that's where her point is. You can be black and be Carlton. You can be black and be Will, and you'll probably connect to either one of those types of people better because you're closer to them. This is just human nature. It's common sense. Everyone would get this.
So when it comes to conservatives, being conservative, stop propping up Carlton Banks, thinking that Carlton is going to be the one to be able to communicate with the Wills of the conservative party.
Now, I want to be clear. She didn't insult Carlton. She didn't insult Will. She simply said that different types of people will connect different types of people, right? Particularly black conservatives. That's her specific, right? That's her specific issue. But either way, that's the issue she's talking about.
You're going to have to prop up the Wills so that they can speak the language that people understand and share experiences with. And I think that's how we fail. I feel like the Democrats do a very good job of making sure they have people that
He can't even accept, look at his face. He can't accept that she just said, Democrats do this well. Why can't you hear me all the time, give credit where credit is due. And in this case, she's correct. Democrats are better at that. There's no doubt they are. And he's like, no, they're not, because Democrats can't do anything right. Oh my God. Look at how brainwashed this guy is, or just what a puppy dog he is.
Present all around. And that's what we need to do better as conservatives. You can't take Carlton to Philly going, it's not unusual. No, that's not.
She's right.
Okay, so you heard what she said.
I did.
You see everybody's laughing.
Yep. Because she's right. Because they agree.
And we all know that she's talking about Candace Owens.
Yes, that's true.
Now, there's a sentiment. There is a group of people who are in the Black conservative movement. Yeah. Oh, why'd you do the air quotes? Once you do air quotes for no reason, the Black conservative movement. So I guess those aren't real conservatives. Okay. No, I watch what you're doing, brother. I'm watching you. People like me, people like Candace Owens, they absolutely despise us.
Yes, correct.
And in her perspective is that there's only two types of Black people to a certain degree. Two types of Black people.
That's not what she's saying. That's what you're saying because that fits your narrative. She's saying you need different people to go into different areas to connect to certain communities. That's smart. That's what you should do. Yes.
Well, you have the Carltons, which if you think about what Carlton was on a Fresh Prince, he was corny, he wasn't popular, he was uncoordinated. He was kind of like the laughing stock. Look, when they talk about Carlton, they laugh at him. He's the laughing one.
See, here's the problem that he brings up. He's making a judgment on Carlton. She wasn't. She wasn't making a judgment on Carlton at all. He is. And do you know why? Because he's actually Carlton, and he doesn't want to be Carlton. He wants to be Will. And he's upset because Maj is Will. So he doesn't like Maj because Maj is actually Will. And Officer, I use air quotes on you, Officer Tatum is actually just a Carlton trying really hard to be Will. But I don't mind being a Carlton. Be a Carlton. So what? I'll be your Carlton, Maj. I don't mind at all. Carlton's fine. No worries whatsoever. Each will have different impact with different people in different ways. All good.
And then Will Smith was the cool one.
Yep.
Down with the posse. He was, he was the image of Black people, and Carlton was corny and whack.
Yeah, kind of like you, corny and whack. And Maj, literally from Philly, he is literally Will. And you can't stand that. And that's why you took umbrage to this. Oh, do you know what umbrage means? I'm sorry. That's why you got angry at this. I apologize. Make sure that you got this one.
Well, this is the problem that I see, and this is the problem that I see with the idea of thinking of this way, as if the Black community is only a hood type personality and a very, very educated personality.
You made that up.
There's a lot of Black people in the middle of this. Not everybody in the Black community, even who live in Philly, even who live in the hood, have the same experiences.
Yes, but most of them hate you, regardless of that. There's the common denominator. Most of them hate you. Most of them actually hate Candace Owens too. So most of them hate you. So even though there's a wide range, the one common thing is they don't like you. I'm in that middle part. I don't like you. So yeah.
I know people that live in the hood that had both of their parents, and they grew up in a safe enviornment. None of their family members were in gangs. They just so happen to live in this jurisdiction. And I know people that grew up in a really, really positive community, but they weren't always in that position.
And none of them like you.
This is in my opinion, this is an intentional despise of people like Candace Owens.
Intentional despise.
People are just jealous of.
We're jealous.
Not the people. I don't know that girl, but the energy is just.
She, by the way, is a woman, but that's fine. Keep going. Misogyny, that's your thing. Keep going.
Jealousy. Because many of these people have been in the conservative movement for decades. Candace Owens shows up 4 years ago and completely dominates.
Yes.
And the reason why she dominates, it has nothing to do with the Carltons and the Will Smiths of
nothing.
Our era. It's because there is two different folds of people that become popular. And
now he's looking down and reading because he had to put notes down. He didn't know how to deal with this. So you see him looking down. He doesn't know. He's made this up. So he's looking down and reading his notes. He didn't figure this one out. Watch.
And people who are not popular.
Reading notes again.
And the people who become popular are people who are conservative, like myself, who happen to be Black.
Oh.
The people who never really reached the heights and success of like people like myself and Candace.
Because you are totally successful. You are. I mean, everyone knows who you are, except half my audience had never heard of you before. But no. And that's why you're sitting without question. That's why you're sitting without question on the coattails of Candace Owens, and you got a Trump 2020 hat on, sitting on that, and you didn't get invited to CPAC. So stop. You're not as cool as you think you are. You're trying to act like you are. You're not, though.
And others
Carlton.
are people who are black who happen to be conservative.
Oh.
There's two different ways of thinking about it. I make videos, I make content specifically about conservative values.
Got it.
I just so happen to be black, and I
look at that. Let me explain something real fast if I can. Let me be clear about something. The reason why you and Candace Owens and your ilk, the reason why you're so popular is because at the end of all of your ideas, everything you say, everything you talk about, at the end of that is only one thing. When you reduce it to its absolute bottom, it is black man bad. That's what happens. You have no answers for anything. Your answers are always the same thing. Your answers are always, well, if the black man would do this, the black man would do this, the black man would do this. That's your answer for everything. You never talk about police reform. You never talk about the war on drugs. You never talk about anything except black man bad. But the worst part is you hate the far left. And when it comes to race from the far left goes the same route. The far left, at the end of their reduction of everything, at the end of the far left, it's white man bad, which is why so many white people don't like the far left. Because at the end of the far left, which I spoke about yesterday, at the end of that is white man bad, right? If everything is reduced to white man bad, white men tend to not like that. Well, with you, everything is reduced to black man bad. Therefore, they don't like you. That's how that works. So why do so many white conservatives like you? If you're a white conservative, you don't want to feel racist. I get it. Nobody does. Nobody wants to feel racist. You don't, nobody, unless you're an actual racist, right? If you're an actual racist, you do. But that's very, very, very few Americans who are actual racists. So you don't want to feel racist. Of course you don't. So when you say black man bad, the average white conservative can go, whew, I don't have to feel racist. So they like you because you don't make them feel racist. Where the far left makes them all feel racist. That's the reason why. But if you've noticed, this panel isn't saying white man bad, black man bad. They're saying let's reach out to the black community and show them as another way besides just voting Democrat. That's what they're actually saying. And you don't like it. And you don't like it for only two reasons. Number one, you weren't invited. Number two, Maj is killing it. And you hate it because he's Will and you want to be Will, but you're Carlton. That's why you hate this. Otherwise, this is nothing but a good panel expressing ideas and concepts that make sense, trying to get the black community to stop just voting Democrat. I hope they vote Libertarian, obviously, but Republican, fine, but I'd rather be Libertarian. But Maj is a Libertarian. So that's why you hate it, and that's why they hate you. That's the reason. If you would stop being black man bad, black people might actually like you. They might. I doubt it, because of who you are. You're a bad person. But besides that, they might actually like you. And you probably should stop kissing up on Candace Owens. She doesn't like you. She's not into you. Have you heard Candace Owens talk about black men? Just listen to her talk about black men. I know you might get this, but you're a black man. Listen to her talk about black men, and oh my God. And oh my God. How about we change the conversation away from black man bad or white man bad to how about we have conversation on how we can work better together, change systems, make things better for everyone. I like that idea. That would be nice. But you do you.
Just so happen to grow up and have some of what we consider
a black experience.
This is not the black experience because you don't grow up in wealth. That's not.
Yeah, they just keep doing the air quotes thing. Why do you keep air quoting? Why do you keep, man?
That doesn't mean you don't have a black experience. Black people come in all shapes, forms, and fashions. But
no, they don't. You just said they didn't you? Or whatever you said. It doesn't matter. No matter what, it falls down to you should stop simping for everybody who you think is going to love you. They're not gonna.
I have had those experiences, and I'm, one of, many people that have had that same thing. But Candace Owens, and people have said these things about Candace Owens as if Candace Owens don't have the black experience because she's now successful.
No. That's not true. Ice Cube is very successful, more successful than Candace Owens, and very few people would think he doesn't have the black experience. I don't know. Jay-Z, far more popular than Candace Owens, far more wealthy. Beyonce, and no one's going to go, you know what? They don't have the black experience. No, that's not the reason. You've made that up because you're trying to act like we're going to be successful and you're all jealous. We're not jealous. We just don't like you. That's how it works. Accept that. We're not jealous of you. I don't want to be you at all. I don't want to have to announce my name 40,000 times, even though it's branded everywhere. Wear a Trump hat because I'm simping for Trump, even though he's not president anymore. Talk about Candace Owens because I'm simping for Candace Owens. I don't want to do any of that stuff. So I don't want to be you. I don't want to officer. You know, I used to be a sergeant in the Marine Corps. I don't go around calling myself Sergeant Sharpe. I don't do that. I used to be a chief instructor at a school. I don't go around calling myself Chief Instructor Sharpe. Why? Because I'm an adult. I'm a man who's confident in myself. You, on the other hand, officer, telling other people it's not your name. Why don't you go change your name to officer? You can talk some trash.
And we got to be very careful at having these conversations and doing things like that because it's counterproductive.
No, you're not, though.
If you focus on being primarily black, and then you are want to drag that into a party of saying, let's be colorblind, let's eliminate the barriers and walls, you're not going to go as far.
Okay, that absolutely false. First off, it is rare that I focus on my blackness. I do sometimes when I think it's appropriate, but it's very rare. I don't do that. Yet I'm far more on their side than I'm on yours. Far more on their side than I'm on yours, without question. They're trying to get black people into a party by reaching out to them, speaking their language. Good idea. I wish libertarians were better at that. I'm trying. Clearly, I'm failing too. But I'm not like you. I don't have to act like I'm great. Please stop.
Like this young lady here that ragged me and ragged Candace Owens for being married to people who weren't black. You're not going to get very far when you have that race.
I don't know. She ran for office. She's making money. She's doing something. She's getting pretty far. I don't know. She seems to be doing pretty far, I guess. I don't know. Because they rag on you, because you deserve to be ragged on. That's the reason. How about you say something about any of their policies? How about you say something of substance at all? You've said nothing of substance. You've wrapped yourself in the flag of Trump hat and conservatism with 1,000 air quotes and acted like you're intelligent and you're smart. Intelligent and wise. You are neither intelligent nor wise. It's clear you're not. You're just mad. You're mad. That's all you are. I'm mad, so I'm going to say people are bad. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
This undertone of black before conservative, black before country. That's not gonna bode well. And I think that's why some people are successful and some people are not.
That's the reason.
Successful. Yeah. Candace Owens is a fiery, smart, intelligent, bold young lady.
She is definitely fiery and bold young lady. That's true. Other two? How about she's as smart and intelligent as you are? I'll say that. How about that? She's that. That's how I'll put her on your level. How about that? That'll work. And you can stop simping for her. She doesn't like you. She'll put up with you. But I'll ask again. Just Google. Literally just Google Candace Owens' opinion of black men. She's not into you, man. She's not into you. Maybe back when you were wearing your suit. And by the way, this guy used to, if you just Google him and do some pictures, he used to wear a suit and tie, and he was all Carlton. And Carlton didn't work for him. He didn't like it because Maj was cooler as Will. And he decided, I'm going to become Will. Yeah, Will's taken, man. And there's nothing wrong with Carlton. Carlton's wonderful. As I said, Maj, I'll be your Carlton. No problem.
And that's why she's successful. It has nothing to do with somebody propping them up. It has nothing to do with CPAC propping her up.
Yeah, it does.
Has nothing to do with the RNC propping her up.
Of course it does.
Has everything to do with the fact that she's bold. She say what she feel.
Lots of people are bold and say what they feel. So does Maj. Stop this storytelling thing you've made up. Stop trying to act like she's so amazing. Stop. Just stop.
Like a Donald Trump. And she just so happened to be a female and so happened to be black. And people love her. She's saying what people are dying to say, but
you said what people want to hear. That was a Freudian slip. She's saying what people want her to say. That's what it is. That's called the grifter, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Oh, you do know that because that's what you are too. So you know exactly what that is. And you're saying to yourself, man, if I can only grift as much as I do, as Candace does, let me see if I can jump on her. Ain't gonna work.
Feel that they cannot say it. On the contrary, the people who are not as successful and maybe spend more time talking down about people who are successful than probably doing work or doing more work than they are currently doing.
So you doing the work and not Maj?
Are these individuals who took a side during Ahmaud Arbery? And this is where the division happened, and most of the division happened, and a lot of
listen
people
to this one.
Me over it. Is that when Ahmaud Arbery happened, most of these people on this panel that I know of took the side of Ahmaud Arbery and said, "Oh my God, this is a racism," without no information.
Whoa. For those of you who don't know, Ahmaud was jogging, didn't have anything in his hands, was jogging. He was chased down. I'm not joking, and I'm saying that I'm using race because it matters in this case, by white men in a pickup truck, and he was shot, and somebody was recording it. That's what happened. And this guy, Officer Simp Tatum, this guy said, well, why would you decide of him? Because he was a guy in the South run down by two white men in a pickup truck and shot. Why wouldn't you think that's a bad thing? Of course you would. Any human being would think that's a bad thing. Why would you really jump on the side of oh my God, that's terrible. But to be clear, you might say, wait a minute, Larry, that's just one thing, right? That's just one piece, Larry. No. This is the guy, Officer Tatum, who said his words, the shooting and murder of Philando Castile in his car in front of his children, his wife, his girlfriend and his child, his words, justified. This guy, every shooting for him is justified. Doesn't matter what it is. This guy just covers cops no matter what. He's back the blue no matter what. It's irrelevant what they do. This guy's all about, I got to say it again, Philando Castile. He said justified. Didn't even say it was a mistake at a minimum, dude. If you're going to back a cop on that, let's go, it was a mistake, he was afraid or whatever. At least there's an argument for that. But his words, you think I'm making it up? Just Google Officer Simp Tatum and Google Philando Castile. He did a video on it. He literally just said, yeah, that guy, it was a justified shooting. What? No, he was murdered by a bad cop. That's the fact. And you jumped on the cop side? That's why black people hate you. That's the reason. That's why black people hate you. It's not because you're successful or whatever lie you tell yourself in the morning. You get up and try to pretend like you're actually an adult and a confident male, which you're not. You are literally a child. And when you try to act like you're actually a real man and you lie to yourself in the morning when you wake up, you should probably say to yourself, man, black people hate me because I really come across as someone who hates black people. Maybe I should stop that because I really come across as a complete and absolutely total simp for Candace Owens. And I come across completely as a bootlicker for cops. That would be the reason why people hate you, because you come across that way. Now, don't get me wrong. My father was in law enforcement. I'm not anti-cop at all. If you've heard anything I've ever said, I'm always about just getting out bad cops, always. But I would never, ever say the murder of Philando Castile was justified. Never. It was not in any way, shape, or form. And you don't have to love cops or hate cops to get that. At all. You don't. That's why they hate you. That's the reason. You always back the blue. You still keep officer in your title because you just so bad want to be a cop, but you're not. You are an insecure child. You're embarrassing yourself. let me move on.
Took a certain side.
A certain side.
Myself and Candace on said, no, wait a minute. This ain't the opportunity to be congruent with the
congruent. This, when someone's doing up air quotes like every 5 seconds, it's because you don't have vocabulary. That's the reason. You have no vocabulary. You're unable to express your thoughts. And you're trying to be cool. You're not. Accept that you're Carlton. It's okay. Let Maj be Will.
Black Democrats and find common ground. This ain't the opportunity. The opportunity is telling the truth.
No, the opportunity of a man who was murdered, obviously. That anyone, when you love cops, hate cops, don't care about cops, whatever it is, this is exactly the time. Exactly the time that you do want to find common ground. Someone was obviously murdered. Perfect timing for that.
And wherever that truth lands is where it's at. And at that point in time that this happened, that's when many of these people on this panel came out against me, came out against Candace.
Yeah.
And my popularity or my influence shot out of the roof.
Not with black people, though. See? Not with black people, though.
Not because somebody's propping me up, not because I'm the Carlton, because I probably.
Oh, see, there you go. Not because I'm the Carlton. What's wrong with Carlton? Why do you not like Carlton? Carlton's fine. But you don't want to be the Carlton because you were the Carlton. I'll show you. If you just Google him, you'll see pictures of him. He used to be Carlton. He didn't like it because it didn't work for him. So now he's got the hat on backwards and growing stuff out. Now all of a sudden he's trying to be Mr. Cool Guy. You're not, man. You're posing. You're a poser. That's all you are. You know the big difference between me and this guy? I was raised in a black neighborhood as a little kid. But as a teenager, I wasn't. My friends went from almost all black to almost all white in about a year or two. So I have my foot in both. I don't pretend to be either because I'm neither. I'm a combination. So I don't pretend. I just am. I am who I am. I don't have to give myself titles and stuff like that. Not required. I just am who I am. That's it. You should just be you, man. Just be you.
Probably have more of a hood experience and more of a black experience than most of the people sitting on this panel. But it's because I told.
So you got more black experience than the people on this panel, yet you don't know these people. You literally said you don't know these people. You are so dying for street cred. It's embarrassing how much you're dying for street cred. You're just dying for it. Anyone who's actually been in the street, who understands how that lifestyle works, is laughing at you, just like I am. They're laughing at you as you desperately try to give yourself street cred. It isn't working.
The truth, and no matter what color you are, you can identify with the truth. And I just had to give my commentary on that because I think this is a sentiment that continues to be out there, that there's somehow this Carlton, type of black person, and there's the Will black person.
Why do I have to keep saying this? Why is he so stuck on this Carlton thing? Because he's a Carlton and he doesn't want to be one. Carlton's fine. Who cares? Do you, man? Just move together.
And we need more black people who are down with the people and more hood. That's not how conservatives move, man. You need people that's telling the truth. You need people that are honest. You need people that have life experience. And some people that have come from these communities that are truthful, have life experience, have something to bring to the table, that are charismatic, that are consistent.
Like who?
Those individuals will be the ones that are more successful. Those like individuals should have an access and have a platform. But when you look at it at the end of the day,
but they didn't invite you.
Most of those people have a platform, and nobody just gave it to them. They built a platform.
Got it.
And I think people need to really understand that this is not about a color thing. This is about values. And if you share the proper values, you are a conservative person. And
he's literally talked for 2 minutes and said nothing. He hasn't said anything. This is 11 minutes of I'm mad because I'm not Carlton. Don't call me Carlton. Look, I'm Hood. I'm Will. Look, I'm the Fresh Prince. This is literally 10 minutes of I'm Will. You're not Will, dude. It's fine. You don't have to be Will. Not everybody can be Will. I can't be Will. It's fine. You're not Will. It's okay.
You're consistent with it. You will have a major platform. You will have a major platform, and Candace Owens and I are a perfect example of that.
No, they are not. You are, please, you and Candace Owens are not. No, you're not. She doesn't like you. Nobody likes you. That's not true.
And I know she's a much bigger brand than I am.
Yeah, much bigger.
We're in a perfect.
She doesn't go, this is the Candace Owens show. Hi, I'm Candace Owens. And this is brought to you by the Candace Owens store. She's not doing that garbage. Who taught you that? That's embarrassing. Yeah, she's not doing that. There's a dong in the beginning because I'm a tough guy. She doesn't give herself like she's Officer Owens. She's not doing that stuff. She's not posing like you. She's not a poser. She just actually hates black men. She's not a poser like you.
Example of that. I grew up very differently than Candace Owens. You know, I grew up what I would like to say in and around the hood my whole life. People can tell the way I talk that I'm from Texas. You know what I'm saying? I got my hood tattooed on my forearm right here.
Mm-hmm.
I got tats on my.
Look at how desperate this guy is. Look, I've got tattoos. Please think I'm Will. I'm so Will. Look at my tattoos.
Stomach. So I've had a different experience than Candace Owens. And Candace Owens didn't have the same experience as me, but we both have grown and become very incredibly influential.
No, you haven't.
It has nothing to do with.
I didn't even know who you were, dude. So no, you have not become influential. Stop. You have not. Stop simping for her and sitting on someone else. You got to show with your name on it, man. Just deal with that. It's fine.
Carlton or Will Smith.
Oh, Carlton.
It has everything to do with the fact that we say what we feel and we're unashamed of our stances that we take. And we don't take stances.
You haven't taken a stance. Your entire stance, and Candace Owens' entire stance is, as you reduce it to the bottom, is black man bad. That's not an impressive stance. Like, you didn't think that through. You didn't get your policy team together and you sat together and spoke every week for hours on the phone, Zoom calls. Man, how do we, you know, it's got to be black man bad. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. You just started announcing data points and then blame black people on it.
Stances based on popularity context. We take stances based on what our moral compass believes. And we stand on that. And people gravitate to that.
No, they don't.
And that's why probably most of the people that follow me have no idea who most of these people are on this panel.
We don't know who you are. What are you talking about?
And that is,
look, two people that I know have already run for office. I know Maj has run for office, right? He tried to actually make some actual impact. And I know that Stanton has run for office. Those two I know. The others may have also. I'm actually unsure. But I don't immediately diss them because I don't know exactly their background. Why would I diss them like that? You're dissing them because they're dissing you. You're just angry.
It's because a lot of people are afraid to be bold. A lot of people like to stay in this little box, and they spend a lot of time, and I'm not saying everybody on this panel, but they spend a lot more time critiquing and complaining than they are actually influencing.
That's not true.
And many people think that it's a plus to like hate on social media influence. But I tell you what, having a social media presence and influence is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful.
The funny part is when someone has to love themselves this much, they don't love themselves. Right? Anyone here who's studied psychology at all, done any time at all, you can see that, right? There's old saying when I go into companies and I have a boss who's like, I'm the boss, you guys, I'm the boss. If you got to yell, you're the boss all the time, you're not really running things, are you? He's got to talk about, man, I'm successful and I'm popular. What, would you buy all your likes, man? Are you buying your likes? Is that what it is? I don't know what you're doing. I mean, you don't even have a sponsor except yourself.
I can give a compelling speech or mention something now, and hundreds of thousands of people have
will laugh at you.
Access to seeing that. I don't have to be on your street. I don't have to be in your community.
Yes. I see what he just said. I don't have to be in your street. I don't have to be in your community. But you know who is on your street and your community that I know for sure? Stanton and Toure. Those two are, that I'm sure of. I don't know. The others might be also. Again, I don't know them. So unlike you, I'm not going to diss them. I don't know them. The two I do know, Stanton and Toure, they are in the street. They are in their neighborhoods and communities. So they actually know better than you. Yeah.
For you to see content and be able to change the way you've thought. for me to just say, oh, social media is not that relevant, it's what I'm doing on the ground. I mean, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, you can do boots on the ground. You can do things. I've been to 28 states now. I've spoken at 20 plus universities.
Universities, because that's where the hood is, right? Because that's where the hood is, right?
I've been everywhere. And
you've been everywhere. You love yourself so much that you got to keep telling us how awesome you are. If you're so awesome, you don't have to tell us how awesome you are, do you? Look at you. You put on this CPAC thing because you thought you could talk about CPAC and actually fight the things they talked about. You can't. You actually can't. This guy can't even come up with a policy that makes any sense. Yet he's sitting here acting like he's something big. He wasn't there because he had nothing to say. He would just yell about, me and Candace Owens. That's what he would say during the panel. That's why no one wants to talk to him.
Also have a pretty significant social media following, which allows me when I go to these places that people want to come, people want to show up, they bring a friend, people are more confident that I have an established brand that I can go out and make more of an impact.
Oh my God. I'm really getting
that duality.
I'm gonna show you the other thing here. This is trying,
and I can perform or have a speech in person that can be compelling and charismatic.
If you're so good, run for office and win something. If you're so good, do that. I'm so awesome. Do that.
And present a message to people that I think will be, significant.
So does PewDiePie. So you're trying to say you're as good as PewDiePie? You're not. No, PewDiePie is probably the most popular YouTuber, I think, as an individual, I think, in the world right now, if not mistaken. So is PewDiePie. And I can do stuff online. So can Sniper Wolf. And I care because what? That's not impressive. That's not impressive. I can make videos.
Change the way people think, change lives, the same way people did to change my life. And I'll say this before I close this thing. It is somewhat, and I don't totally disagree with this, but it is somewhat
Go ahead.
Of a slap in the face to black folks to think that only black folks can convert black folks.
Wow. Not what they said at all. And if anyone's slapping black people in the face, it's you. None of them all of them are saying how much they love black people. They love their community. They want to be involved in their community. They're not going, I don't have to go to the community. I can make videos like PewDiePie. They're not saying that. None of them are saying that. They're actually saying that they love black people. They want to bring them aboard. They want to have them stop voting Democrat all the time. They want to do that. They're actually in the neighborhoods, in the communities, running for office, becoming that person. You're trying to become PewDiePie, I guess. I don't know, or whatever you're trying to do. And no one said only black people can convert black people. You literally have a Trump hat. You are so unaware of yourself. You have such a lack of self-awareness. You are literally wearing a Trump hat on your head saying, well, is that what they're saying? Half of these people on that board are probably Trump supporters. I would assume at least half are. I don't know each of them, but my assumption is at least half are. I'm pretty sure Stanton was a Trump supporter. So at least half of them are Trump supporters. So they don't believe that. You've just made that up.
Like, I think that may be a mistake that some people are thinking about, because I didn't become a conservative because of black people. I did not become a conservative because of black people. It was actually the white people that I knew on the SWAT team and on the police department that were giving compelling arguments of why they believed that I was actually a conservative and I wasn't a Democrat. A black Democrat is what took.
All right. I want to get off of this piece for a while. He's just talking more trash and he's useless. The reality of it here is, what they talked about during that? They talked about many things. One of the things they talked about on that panel was an important thing. If you actually would treat black men when you're talking to them as if black men want to be part of a family, want to take a part in raising their children, you might get some black men to talk better to you. Why? Because most black men who have a family want to be part of a family and want to take care of their kids. Why? Because most men do. It's not because they're black or not black, because most men who have children want to be part of their family, want to be part of their children's lives. That's a human thing, which, of course, since people are human, becomes a black thing. But it's a human thing. It's not They don't speak that way. He didn't even bring that up. I had to just take it off because the panel said so much more than that. They were talking about many different things. So I'm going to grab a little bit of it. Okay, hold on. Let me grab a little bit of this so you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is from the Black Guns Matter YouTube page. If you want to see it, I put the link in the description. You can watch it if you want to watch the entire thing. But I'll give you a piece of what they're talking about. It's a piece.
A panel in the beginning. This was your shot for you to be on stage, but you decided that you wanted to open up this space for all of us to come on here.
And that's the thing that Maj did. Some of you don't know this. When CPAC invited Maj, they said, you can just speak. He said, I don't want it to be me. He invited all these people and he made it a panel on purpose. That's Maj. Mr. I have no respect for him or whatever stupid stuff Officer Tatum said. He invited these people on purpose to make it more inclusive, to bring more voices. That's what Maj did.
And I think that's very courageous of you to share this.
And look at the audience. It's mostly white. And they're here listening. Maj is working.
This time with us, and this is what we need in the Republican Party. We need to be highlighting all of the minority voices that are standing for conservatism.
And why would you think that's a bad thing? I want to be clear. Officer Simp Tatum, he said that she's terrible, that she's bad, that Stanton King is bad. She's saying, let's let everyone talk.
Absolutely. For me personally, conservatism is my beliefs. It's where I stand. It's my moral code. It's everything that I stand on. And
but I thought
believe.
You can't be successful if you're her.
That's what conservatism is to me. And I think that, regardless of our religions, regardless of our skin colors, regardless of our cultures, there are some things that bring us together on common ground. And, that's freedom of speech. We want to make sure that we're protecting the innocence of our...
He's mad at this. Simp Tatum is mad at this. I think it's great. First Amendment right. Let's do that.
Children, we want freedom of religion. There are just some things that bring us together as conservatives.
So you said something about freedom of speech, and you're very outspoken.
Yes.
And this is America uncanceled.
Yes. And they're trying to cancel the kid.
They tried to cancel you a little bit.
Yes, they are.
Being outspoken and being one of those conservative values, being that freedom of speech, how are you dealing with people trying to go through Twitter and cancel you?
Let's address it. So we know that in this election, there were some things going on in regards to the conspiracy theories with Q, right?
Yeah.
And I think that me as a person, before I ever got into the conservative movement, I've always been an advocate, even if it's for abused children or whether it's for those people.
So you're talking about a woman here, and we don't have to go deeper in this, but she's literally is an advocate for abused children. This is what she does. She goes into communities, and Tatum's mad at her. For what? I don't get it. Let me keep going.
Age matriculated towards President Donald Trump. They did. That wasn't an extra thing. They did. So with that,
he's talking about how many minorities moved towards Donald Trump in the last election.
Where did the grip of the Democratic Party loosen amongst that group of Democratic black voters?
So, as you mentioned, yes, we did see over the last 4 or 5 years a huge uptick in black support, mostly due to the influence of President Trump. But the question is...
Listen to what he says, though.
The question is, what happens now? And do those numbers translate to the Republican Party in general?
I hope they go libertarian, clearly. But my point is, why is this bad? Again, Tatum, instead of doing what I'm doing and talking about this actual panel, instead took his time to say, I'm important too. What a child. What a child. This guy's saying, how do you move forward? He's giving you answers. You could actually sit there and talk about these things. Now listen to this woman talk. Watch her talk.
He's going to be super professional and safe. Sonny, how is the conservative movement, Republicans in general, how are we getting that messaging wrong?
Completely, actually. But if you go back to the idea of us now examining that black men have a conservative streak,
See, that was a piece that I bring up to, and many of you who've listened, I've said this many times. I've said that if you have black people in your family, right? Or black people who are close to you. For sure, there are black people in your family who are conservative and they vote Democrat. I have that too, right? So if you have that, then that will happen, right? You'll say, but you're conservative. Why do you vote Democrat? Because the image has always been Republicans hate black people. And that image has pushed many black people into voting Democrat, even though they are conservative. What Trump actually did, which sounds crazy to a lot of people, the reason why the uptick in black and brown people voting for Trump, it wasn't actually because more black people became conservative. It was more conservative blacks decided to leave the Democratic Party. But they were already conservative, if that makes any sense. But they were conservative voting Democrat. And then they realized, I don't want to do it anymore. And they then shifted and they went Republican, but they were already conservative. She's going to bring up some of that too.
Conservatives that 5 years ago, like 5 years ago. And every single one was telling me I had lost my mind. They told me I was crazy. They told me I was seeing something that was imaginary. If 5 years ago,
listen to her,
this movement would have looked at black men and said they are capitalists. If
yes.
they had looked at black men and
yes.
said that they want to be the heads of their household.
Yes.
They want to be fathers to their children.
Yes.
They want to be coaches to their little league teams.
Yes.
They had looked at black men as something more than a conservative stereotype and talking point. We would not be here talking about the failure of the last 4 years when it comes to black America.
Am I wrong here? What she's saying makes sense. Why would you be angry? If you're a conservative, if you're a Democrat, I get you could be angry at her. I understand. If you're watching or listening and you're a Democrat, you could go, oh, she's a sellout. She's not a Democrat. I understand. But if you're either a conservative or a Republican or a libertarian or any of those, right? If you're not a left-leaning Democrat in this specific case, because she is obviously conservative, why would you be angry at this? Why would you not bring this up and show everybody this? Yeah, it's true. Yeah. If you treated black men like that, a lot of black men would go, oh, I would like that. I'm in. Let's jump on that train. I like that train. The Carltons and the Wills, both of them would come over, of course. But that's not what happened. She's absolutely right.
Come on now, Sonny.
If we had looked at what holds us together as conservatives, so if you want to know what conservatism means, it means conservation of the idea of the individual, that each and every one of us has inherent gifts that we are meant to give this world, and that deserves to be protected.
Now, I want to be clear. Did Simp Tatum bring this up? No. Why is he just was mad? I'm not there. I'm not Carlton. Dude, you're Carlton and nobody wanted you here because you're Carlton. You're a bad Carlton, and it's fine to be Carlton. And that's the issue. Just be Carlton. It's totally fine. And look at what happened. He should have been here. We can't be here because he wouldn't have anything to say except black man bad. What she's saying is black men not bad. Black men being treated bad by both parties. So maybe black men should change the parties. Yeah, libertarian would be my choice.
Right now, you don't have it.
Wait.
With the black community,
Sonny,
you can have it.
Yes, sir. I told y'all it was going to get awkward and uncomfortable. I told y'all it was going to be some growing pains.
Did you see how good Maj took this? He could have made this all about him. He could have got up, talked about Black Lives Matter. Black Guns Matter, Black Lives Matter. He could have talked about all that stuff. He could have talked about how he goes in and does this and does that, but he didn't. He did this instead. And why in the world would anyone be mad at him for this? Why?
Okay?
That's Sonny J.
That's right. I want to take it over to Rich real quick. Now we're saying black folks, because there's a lot of black folks up here on this stage. Does the thing that we're talking about right now, one, does it translate into black and brown communities? As well as, question, what is something you'd like to see change in that regard to black and brown communities in the GOP and liberty movement?
So I think, what's up, CPAC? How's everybody doing?
I want you to pay attention. He said the GOP and he snuck in and the liberty movement. Well done, Maj. Well done, Maj. Absolutely well done. Yes.
I think one of the things that we got to focus on is, yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely some barriers, but I also think I want to see more activism. It's not about the Republican coming knocking on my door. It's about me banging down the door to the RNC and telling them, hey, I'm a conservative.
No, you're falling back. I see why he went late on you. Next.
Learn from it and apply to ourselves, because they have been successful with that literal.
Watch what he says here.
Okay, I want Shamika as well as Angela to deal with this. Have a death grip on youth and young adults.
He's talking about Democratic Party and how they have a death grip on youth and young adults. He's admitting what the Democrats are doing well.
How have they been so successful in doing so? And what can we learn from it and apply to ourselves? Because they have been successful with that literal and figurative death grip on, black and brown communities, especially with youth. How have they been able to do that? And how can we kind of right the ship in that regard?
And that's the point that I bring up constantly. You got to give people credit where credit is due. Whether you like them or don't like them or happy or unhappy, whatever the case may be, right? I got to tell you, when I look at what Democrats did in return, right? Democrats, of course, try to reach the black people too, of course. And generally speaking, their ground game is far better than Republican ground game. That's true. We can all admit that's 100% true. But at the top levels like this, I got to tell you, this is a good deal. This is a good way of thinking.
I think they've been able to do that by being more inclusive.
And here is where she talks about the things that she talks about already, right? She brings that whole Carlton thing up. That's what she does. So we've already seen that piece. Let me move on from there if I could.
The messenger is just as important as the message. You could have
yes.
the right message, but the wrong messenger, and people won't get it. So
yep.
One of the things that I say all the time, and people are like, oh, God, Angela, you always say something to make people mad. Well, here's the thing. We got to face the truth, right? And the truth is that the Democratic Party is really good at playing identity politics. Republicans are not. We're just honest and straightforward, just like our president. We don't care how you take what we say. We're just going to give it to you.
Trump supporter, clearly, yes. But it's fine. It's fine. All I'm saying is that's Trump, yes.
But here's the thing. In doing that, right? In doing that, we have to remember that everybody just can't handle the blunt, honest truth. And there are some times that we're going to have to get in and we're going to have to stand before the people, and they're going to have to hear from somebody that they can relate to. So when you want to send a message out to single black mothers that are struggling on welfare, that are trying to better their lives, then that's when you come get Angela Stanton King, somebody that was on welfare and got off welfare and
absolutely
together and is now a bit.
Yes. Exactly correct. This is my point. Why in the world would anybody be angry about this? I don't understand the anger. Why this? The reason why I brought up Tatum and this is because he's angry. What? Because he's angry. What? I'll move on.
Is it too late? Is it too late?
Actually, I kind of want to reverse the sentiment for a second, because everybody is speaking like it's something that we can do. And I know all of our strengths, understand. The first time I made it to the main stage here at CPAC, I was invited by Andrew Breitbart. CPAC didn't want me here.
Now, some of you will be upset about that. I am not a Breitbart fan. I'm not. Some of you are, I'm sure. I'm not. But why would someone like Breitbart invite her? Why would he? Because he knew it would work. Because he wanted to grow his movement. That's the reason. Because he wanted to grow his movement. That's why he invited her. He knew that she would talk a way that would make people understand that she had enough real street cred, not I got to call myself officer street cred, actual street cred that people would hear. Yes, that's why. I'm sure you guys understand why, you know, this went the way it was. Anyway, let me grab some comments. I hope that was interesting for you to see. If you want to see it, please take a few seconds. It's in the show description. You can watch the entire thing if you like. But one more thing I want to ask you. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what's happening, then support my sponsor. It's not the Larry Sharpe store. That's not the sponsor. You can go to Larry Sharpe store if you want to. Zazzle, head over to the Sharpe Way. There is a store if you want to. But my actual sponsor, theadvocates.org, click that link in the description. Take the pandemic survey if you haven't already. Finish it and then save it and send it out to others. Let people see it. Share it. It does matter. It makes my sponsors happy. It makes me happy, and it's free. So it costs you nothing. If you got some cash, you like what I'm doing, you enjoy what I'm trying to bring to you to have real conversations, and if you're getting some Biden bucks, throw some Biden bucks my way. Head over to patreon.com/sharpeway. $10, $25, whatever you got. I'm happy to take any Biden bucks you might be getting. Love to have it. But if you don't have any cash, I'm not mad. I get it. Not everybody has cash right now. But you can like, comment, and share. That you can do. And that's free. You can like, you can comment, you can share. That's free. And of course, you can take that survey. Let me grab a couple of comments. I had a bunch of them. I kind of want to grab so many of them. I loved it. Yes. Let's see if I can keep going here. I want to call myself Sergeant Major Cock. I never made it that far in rank, but I think it sounds cool. I think it will get some. I like the idea. You know, like I never made it to like captain, but I can come off Captain Sharpe, I guess. That's kind of cool. I mean, Captain Sharpe. I don't know, Colonel Sharpe. Who about Colonel Sharpe? That sounds cool. General Sharpe's not so cool. You know what? I'm going to go higher. I'm going to call myself Field Marshal Sharpe. There we go. But no, I actually was a sergeant. So I could call myself sergeant, I guess, in theory. I was a sergeant in Marine Corps, so I was corporal too. Whatever. I was chief instructor, right? So I was that. So anyway. There we go, Sergeant Sharpe. Give us your best Ernie impression. I would love to. The problem is it would be vulgar. So yes, he actually was a great Marine and a Vietnam veteran, for those of you who don't know. So Sam says, there are several hip hop artists who started off materialistic, but they are far more successful than Brandon or Candace. And as they mature, they eventually became capitalists. Yes, but you counted them out, yet they embody conservatism now even more than you, Tatum and Owens. Yeah, I think there's some valid. I think, again, look, I'm half black. Part of my family's black. A lot of my family, they're conservative, but they vote Democrat. I don't know if they still do it now, but they used to at least. I don't actually know. I should have asked. I don't know, but I mean, they do. But there is a conservative streak in the black community. It's true. There's a capitalist streak in the black community. You can see this, you know. In the past, I've called the war on drugs a war on black and brown entrepreneurs, because by default, that's what the war on drugs created. It created a bunch of entrepreneurs who just black market entrepreneurs. You know, listen to the gangster rap of the 90s, right? And if you listen to it, it's all about making money. It's capitalist, 100%. Yes. So, Larry, this guy worked you up more than Cuomo with a room full of dead seniors. A little bit, yes. Sergeant Sharpe is going to be on the officer's bad list. Yes, I like that. I love Candace Owens. Lots of people do, Shelley. My point, I guess sometimes I wasn't clear. What I was saying is the black community doesn't like Candace Owens. That's true. There are a lot of white people who like Candace Owens. Tons. The black community doesn't. So that's an issue. So Candace Owens married to a white man. It's true. Yep, but not a bad thing. I don't care about that. It doesn't matter to me. So look, Stanton King knows me. She knows my wife is Greek, and she's not mad. She doesn't care. She's fine with me. We're the same panel together. She's fine. She doesn't care about that. She doesn't like him. That's the issue. So is Tatum the new gen of what Sharpton and Jesse J do with the D's? Ooh, interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's not bad. Maybe. He seems to tote himself as the poster child of black conservatives. Where's the cancel culture on this dude? Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. Is he prepping for Owens for 2024? Maybe. It's possible. She could run. She'd move forward, right? She would. She'd move forward. Yeah. So, let's see. She telling people what they want to hear on Fox News. I think there's some truth to that, right? I get that. And I've seen a lot of people go that route. And it's not just Fox News, obviously, right? You go on the station to tell the story the station wants to hear. And I think that's one of the reasons, Paula, why so many people have started their own media, because they know that if you want to be on CNN, if you want to be on MSNBC, if you want to be on Fox, you have to play the game and give them the story that they want to hear. You can't go on MSNBC and not say Trump bad. You kind of have to, or they're not going to have you back, right? You got to say Republicans evil, or they're really not going to have you back. I mean, they'll have a token of something on there, right? You go to Fox, you can't start going on Fox and saying Tucker Carlson's evil. You're not going to last. You'll get 1 or 2 times and you're out. So yeah. Ahmad was murdered and was awful. Yes. Thank you, Paula. And you don't have to be black or white or cop or whatever. Yeah, that was bad. 100%. So let's see if I can do this here real fast. Okay, Jeff is talking about how she finds her attractive. But nice. That's good. Yep. When does he get into Maj Toure stuff? He does it, Joe, because he can't. And that was my point. I had to show it. He didn't even show the rest of it. He just started talking about how I can't stand it. That's it. Yes. Officer Simp Tatum. Yes, I like it. Why not? That's a good name. I love it. 100%. Yes. So Tom says, yes, it was a modern day lynching. Absolutely. Yes. Jericho says, Candace Owens is like a pet token for the conservatives. I appreciate her quick reply, and she's intelligent, but she's not that special. You know what? Maybe I should rethink that. The reason why I felt like she wasn't that intelligent is because her talking points to me are so obvious. But no, I think that, you know what? Maybe I should take that back, Jericho. She is intelligent. Is she a token for conservatives? I think that's absolutely, they use her as a token. You know, one of the things I found with many Black conservatives is they find themselves often, when they become Republican, often becoming tokens. It's a common problem. Not always, please. It's not always, but it's a common problem. And I think if you're going to be a Black conservative, I think you should be a libertarian instead. However, if you want to be a Republican, I get it. I still love you. It's fine. You be Democrat, Republican, I still love you. I think you have to be more of you. More of you. Maj has become a libertarian, but he was Republican for a long time. So they still bring him in. But the reason why they still want him, it's funny, still want him, and he's not your typical Black conservative, but they still want him because he's who he is. That's it. That's who he is. So, all right. Aaron says, now he admits the real source of division, not jealousy, but because him and Candace said stupid stuff about Aubrey. Yes. Thank you, Aaron. 100%. Yes. That's why we don't like him. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Was definitely pissed off. Tatum's big time bootlicker. Yes. I do feel like that. I'm like, dude, stop. But I guess at one point you dig so deep. Can you get out? I don't know. Jay says, Larry, I like how you're real. You're not faking. You don't just tell people what they want to hear. That's true. And some of you, I'm sure, like Tatum, and you're mad, and you don't like me saying bad things. And I'm sorry if I make you upset. That isn't my goal. My goal is to show you that this guy may not be who he is. And it's also to defend Maj Toure, which will also make some of you angry. I know. But I hope that if that's a place that you don't want to be with me, that you just won't watch this video and you'll still come back. Because there are so many ways and places that I know you and I agree and we can work together. This may be one of them that we don't. But please stay with me. I hope you see that I'm trying just to be me. So, Officer Tatum. I am so going to use that, Sam. God, I'm going to steal that. So good. Officer Tatum. I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal that. I'm probably going to give you absolutely no credit. But when you hear it, you'll just know that it was you. Yes. So let me grab a couple more. Cannot like that enough. It's awesome because it's sadly so true. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Video of Mr. Castillo dying was gut-wrenching. Yes, it was horrible. He was shot to death for no reason by a terrible cop in front of his girlfriend and his daughter. How can you support that? Oh my God. Yes. Shelly, cops hate bad shootings. Yes, Shelly, yes. That was a bad shooting. That was a bad cop. That's true. Can't we just say that? That guy has to back the blue no matter what. No, not that one. You can back others, not that one. Absolutely. Hope my Hodge twins are good with Larry. I don't know who the Hodge twins are. Oh, those two twin guys. I don't know. If they attack Maj, no. That's my issue. If they attack Maj, no. If they don't, we're good. Did I answer your question, Matt? That's kind of where I am. If they don't attack Maj, we're good. No worries. I will never air quote again. You should air quote, but you should air quote when it's required. Air quote like officer Tatum. That would be a good air quote. Yes. So that's funny. You are or ever were an officer, you're automatically a Carlton. Oh, that's good. I like that. You are. Yes, very good. So I think Larry has given this guy more time than he deserves. We're in 40 minutes as I type. Yes, I got him off, Brian. I got him off. See, I'm being good. I got off. Absolutely. Yes. All right. See if I can do this. 11 minutes of his opinion on nothing. Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Time for I'm doing comments, Jimmy. Come on, guys. I'm doing comments. Yes, absolutely. He's not making any points here. 100%. He did not make any whatsoever. Candace and this guy are young rhinos. I don't know, right? My view here, Robert, is I don't know where the Republican Party is going right now. I don't think it's clear, in my view. I mean, I'm an outsider looking in, so I could be off here. But I'm not sure where it's actually going. They might be the actual Republican Party. It's possible, but maybe not. I'm actually not sure where the party's going. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not really sure. So I don't know. So this guy is as hood as white boys in private school that listen to rap are. I don't know about that, but that's actually funny. Yes. Larry nailed it. This guy and Candace Owens are popular with white people who feel validated listening to black people that agree with them. There's definitely a part of that. There's definitely a part of that. But it isn't just that, right? The issue is, again, nobody wants to feel racist. Who does? I don't want to. I know you don't, unless you're actually a racist. And again, that is a small percentage of Americans. Most people aren't, and they don't want to feel that way. They're not doing that. And the left, many, you know what? I'm going to do a couple of those coming up here. Thank you for that, Chris. You've just given me one of my next videos. I'm going to talk about things like diversity training and things of that. So I'll do a couple of those, and I'll show you how the left's view of racism is the opposite of his. Right? His is black man bad. The left is white man bad. And I'll show both of those. And people don't want to feel racist. So, of course, you run away from that. It makes sense. Absolutely. Larry definitely opened my eyes with this live. I actually liked Mr. Officer Tatum. Now, not so much. Thanks for the wake-up call. Well, there we go. There we go. There we go. I seem to be mistaken about the conclusion coming. There wasn't one. Yeah. There wasn't one. Of course not. Yeah. So... all righty. I'm going to need an Alka-Seltzer. Tom's a Pepto-Bismol from listening to Tatum. I know it's funny. Yes. This guy can make people laugh, cry, spill juice on my good pants. There we go. Spill a juice in the good pants. You'll remember it at least. Who is Sniper Wolf? Oh, I'm sorry. I spent it up. But Sniper Wolf is a very popular YouTuber also. She's got like 20 million followers or something. So yeah, she's I guess she used to be a gamer. Now she does reaction videos, something like that, right? I have kids, so I see all the YouTubers. PewDiePie, I think, is still the number one. He was. I think he still was with over 100 million followers. There is a page that's more popular than him, but that's a group of people. As an individual, I'm pretty sure PewDiePie is still the number one. I think he's Swedish, and he actually lives in Italy now. Sniper Wolf is American. I think she lives like in Vegas or something. I don't remember. But they're youngsters, like, 20-somethings or maybe 30, like that. And they're very popular YouTubers. So there we go. All right. This is a stereotype and the perfect reason you should stop listening to her lies. So they've been shown on how black men, even when unmarried, are more involved in their children's lives of the race. Yes, that was my point. Thank you, Aaron. And that's what Sonny was saying. Sonny was saying exactly that. If you treat black men like they actually are just men, which is what black men are, just men. That's it. Who, of course, want to be in their families' lives and children's lives like everybody does. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Let's see. I'm not a fan of Maj, but he works harder than anyone. Yes, from what I've seen. That's not the area to be critical of him. And that was my point too, Chris. I know people don't like Maj. I know it. I'm not fooling myself. I get where I'm walking down this road. I know. But for those of you who know me, when I support somebody, I support somebody. It's what I do. I'm trying to grow the movement. We disagree on things here or there, but I'll still get behind you. Even if I disagree with you, I'll get behind you anyway. And Maj does. I've seen him. He goes into the neighborhoods that he's talking about. He's not just sitting out here doing videos. He does videos too, but he's actually in there trying to get people. I mean, he came to New York City to do an actual training, right? Here in Queens. Like, great. Okay. Yes. So, all right. I wish I brought the panel, not this guy. I did go down the panel too. See, it wasn't just, I picked him because he was so angry at it, and there was no reason to be angry at it. None. Absolutely. I did play it. See, I did. I played that one. I told you. There we go. I was there for you, Sam. I was there for you. Yes. So, all right. If you're a left-leaning Democrat, you have a lemon in your mouth, or you're listening. That's good. I like that. That's good. Andrew, six of my first cousins are mulatto. Mulatto. Haven't heard that word in a while. With my aunt being white and uncle being black. And the cousins and aunt and uncle vote conservative, independent, or libertarian. Ooh, look at that. That is interesting. Many conservative blacks I know still vote Democrat, but I think it's changing. How can we attract black voters to the Libertarian Party? The LP is very white. I haven't seen them often address minority issues. It's true. The Libertarian Party tends to be very bad when it comes to racial rhetoric. We don't do rhetoric very well. It's not our skill set when it comes to racial rhetoric. We're about equality. Everybody should be equal. And I get that, but it doesn't come across well. And we don't spend enough time talking about the biggest issue, which is the war on drugs. If you really want to get the black community to care about Libertarian Party, you got to focus on 2 or 3 specific issues, which I try to focus more on, but I don't do it as well as I could either. War on drugs, number 1. Number 2, believe it or not, licensing, professional licensing, letting the black community, particularly poor communities, just grow, right? And the last is federal guidelines that make it harder to do things. You have to focus on these 3 things, right? You start focusing on these 3 things, right? Like, mortgages that if you're black, you wind up getting the worst mortgages by federal guidelines, right? Stuff like that. So I think you work on those issues, you'll find them more open. I think those issues I will often bring up, but more importantly, talk to black voters like voters. Number 1 issue, talk to black voters like voters. It doesn't matter if you're a Will or a Colton. All good. And be you. Number 1, be you. Look, the reverse was true of me. I went to upstate New York, and I went to farm country. I went to areas that were very rural. I'm a city kid. I didn't act like I was from, the woods or rural area or farm. I'm not. I was me. And I showed them me. And they were like, oh, this guy's just this guy. Yeah. And I showed them something else. And many of you who've seen me when I'm out in upstate New York, I show you a very important thing. Respect. I respect you and the lifestyle you've chosen. I respect the places you want to live. I respect that you don't want to live in Brooklyn. Awesome. Good on you. Awesome. Just be happy and be productive, and life is good. That's all I care about. And I think many people said, that guy does. He does respect me. Fine. I'll listen to him. So I would say the same thing. How do you attract black voters? Respect them. Number 1 issue. So, yes. All right, let's see if I keep going here. Love him for that. Liberty movement. Yes, absolutely. When he said liberty movement, I'm not so sure he was talking about the same liberty movement as libertarians are promoting. This is an interesting point, Jimmy. I'm not sure either. I think I'm not sure either. But again, he was at CPAC. you got to know your audience, right? You probably don't want to be at CPAC saying, you know, hey, sex workers work. While I believe that to be true 100% and I know it's right, I probably don't want to lead with that at CPAC, right? Let's keep that one in my back pocket and do other stuff, right? So maybe so he's also got to know his audience, is all I'm saying, right? The right messenger and the right message. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, not a Breitbart fan either. Me either. Not a Breitbart fan, but I get what he was doing. It was still savvy, if that makes any sense, what he was doing. So yeah. Let's see. I love that you came everywhere in New York. I did. I wanted to I wanted to be governor of New York. I got to go to every part of New York, right? If I'm going to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk. So absolutely. 100%. Yes. So, let's see here. Yes, I feel that we could help blacks, especially Southern blacks in the LP. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. 100%. I was at that Solution Summit in 2020. You got an instant fan for me. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm a Maj fan. I am. Absolutely. I 100% am. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep doing this. Yeah, I think Candace is the future of the party. She might be. I don't know is my point. I'm not close enough to the Republican Party to know what's happening there. It's possible. It's possible. So, yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going here. Larry, could you clarify your thoughts on black conservatives and conservatives in general? I identify as a liberty-leaning black conservative. Yeah, I think you do find black conservatives, right? I think you do. And what I mean by that is you find, let me give you some general rules. You find there are many black people in the black community who are churchgoers, who the church matters, the religion matters. Mostly Protestant. There are black Catholics, obviously, but mostly Protestant, and heavily about the idea of for you to do well, you need Jesus. That is a common thought in the black community. White communities too, but conservatives tend to care a lot about religion and feel like that is a cornerstone for anyone to be successful or good or valuable. It's a common issue. So I think that's a big part of being a black conservative in general. Not always, but very often. In addition to that, you find people who actually want, particularly black people who actually want to move forward in a way that is about family. I mean, have you seen, I don't want to be stereotypical here, but I mean, family reunions. A big part of the black community, family reunions, big part. I haven't been to mine in forever. So now you make me feel bad. I got to go to the next one. So yes. So big part. So I think things like that, family and religion is a big part of what many black conservatives will focus on. You will find that to be a common issue, if that makes any sense. It's social. You have found in the past, not so much now, but you have found in the past, a lot of black conservatives who actually were anti-gay. That was a common thing. It's not as common now, but it has been in the past. You go back 20, 30 years, it was very common. Then the black community used to be very, very anti-gay in general. When I was growing up, I mean, being gay was just an insult, and that was it. Just an insult. That's all it was. Nobody was going to come out in my when I was a kid in the black community. No one was going to come out as gay. Just wasn't going to happen. I remember being in the Marine Corps. When I was in the Marine Corps in the 80s still, you couldn't be gay in the Marine Corps when I was in. If you were gay, they threw you out. This is before they even had don't ask, don't tell. You couldn't even be gay when I was in the Marine Corps. I'm sure there were gay Marines because there's gay people, but none of them were out. Is that what I would say? There were no openly gay Marines. So I think that is a part of conservatism that you feel that's often the black community. But I don't, as I say all the time, you can be conservative or liberal. Be libertarian. Don't force your views on others. That's my most important thing. Yes. I don't preach the notion that blacks have to be tokens to be conservative. I don't think that's true at all. They don't have to be. I think often the Republican Party will use black people as conservatives, as tokens. Then they will. The Republican Party in New York could try it too. Of course. I mean, they could do it. It does happen sometimes. And my point is not that you have to be a conservative you don't have to be a token if you're conservative. I don't think so. Look, I'm a libertarian. People are talking about this. There aren't many black libertarians. There's hardly any libertarians of color, period. Do I consider myself a token? I don't. Would someone use me as one? Yes. Yes. Do I have to be one? No. I don't feel like I'm one. Will someone use me as one? Of course. Will someone call me one? Of course. So I just think when there are very few of insert thing, you can absolutely be a token. It's what happens sometimes, Matthew. It's not intentional. It's not me saying it has to be or that it's intentional for me. I'm just saying I think it happens. That's all. So let me grab a couple more if I can. I'm also an atheist. I'm talking about political aspects of conservatism. Oh, I see. But you got to remember something. For many conservatives, not all, of course, but many conservatives, religion is a key aspect. If you've gone to any conservative meetings, I've been to many, at least 9 out of 10 begin with both the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer. At least 9 out of 10 that I've gone to, and I've been to many. I've been to dozens, and at least 9 out of 10 will start with one or both pledge, but almost always a prayer. So I think it is an important part. Religion is part of politics also, right? So I think it's both of those things. So I don't know if that makes any sense if I answer your question or not. But when it comes to political conservatism, I think you find when you find black conservatives, almost always they are constitutional conservatives. Almost always. Again, I don't want to be too stereotypical, but generally speaking, almost every black conservative that I know is also a constitutionalist. Almost everyone is a constitutionalist. Most of them that I know, probably 9 in 10, are religious, usually Protestants, but are religious. And most of them are constitutionalists, very much about the Bill of Rights, very much about the Constitution. So I think those are the two things that would hold many black conservatives together: the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, and religion. Even though I know in your case it's not religion. So, all right. See if I can go here. My late grandmother wanted to meet you and said she wished she had voted for you in 2018. She was a conservative with both conservative and libertarian viewpoints. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I like that. There we go. I love that one. So, white libertarians don't care about minorities to make that case, though. I'm not sure. Was that towards me, Mike? That might have been for somebody else. So that might have been for somebody else. So I don't know. But you have a valid, Mike, your point is a valid one, because that's the image that the party has portrayed for years. I don't think it's actually true, but I do think we have projected that without question for years. We have projected that for years. The reality of it is it's not actually true. Many libertarians I know are all about stopping the bad aspects that affect the black community. We are the only group that I know of that is actively trying to stop the war on drugs, actively trying prison reform. I mean, 1 in 3 black male babies born today is statistically going to be sentenced to prison. 1 in 3. That's a systemic problem that we have to change. And I don't hear anyone else talking about changing that except for the Libertarian Party. 1 in 3. Right? The graduation rate for black men for college, average now person goes to college, takes them 6 years to graduate now. That's how bad it is now. Graduation rate, under 40%. It's over 50 for every other group. Over 50 for every other group, under 40 for black Americans. And women, it's like 30 some odd or something like that. And men, it's like, lower than that. Men are worse. So black men are in trouble in this country. I don't see them talking about, fixing the college system. I'm not talking about it. No one else is. So while I get the image, totally correct image, I don't think it's true. We need to have better messaging and better everything. So I think that's the issue. But I get it. I get the image that is there. It's valid. Absolutely. So, All right. The LP is like herding cats. True. It's hard to grasp the opposite of herd mentality for many people. Modern day politics has made us so tribal and easily manipulated. Being libertarian is actually hard because you must respect and listen to the other's ways. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. Yes. So, my brother-in-law works for an Orthodox Jewish company and literally call him the token white guy. Nobody's offended. Well, that's my point, right? Thank you, Shelley, for making my point. And anyone who is the other in any large group will often be tokenized or even teased or even be called one. Absolutely, yes. And it's true, right? In this case, there are fewer black people in the Republican Party, so they can't be tokenized, right? But there are more now. So I think the idea of being tokenized is going down as there are more and more people coming into our party. The Democratic Party is losing a lot of black voters, relatively, right? They're gaining others, but also losing black voters. So I do think we have a chance of putting more into our L column. I hope so. Yes. Larry, I think minorities want government the hell out of their life after being screwed by the government. This is a hard part, David. If you go into many minority communities, Hispanic, black, I would even go just any poorer communities, white communities too, but heavily black and Hispanic. The place where so many, particularly black people, but Hispanic too, particularly black people have been able to move forward is through government jobs. The government was always open to hiring, an equal opportunity employer far before mainstream America was. So you were able to get further in government jobs far earlier than you were in the public sector as a general rule, even prior to segregation and after segregation, right? All of those times, right? You were able to do it. So many of the black communities, Hispanic again, and poor white communities also have a history of government jobs. So you have a society where a lot of people have had government jobs because they have, right? I did what my mom did or my father did or whatever. My dad was, worked in a correctional facility. My mom worked as a teacher or insert government job here. So many of them, have copied that. They've copied what their parents do, a common thing. So now you have a big chunk of the community that's working, which is government jobs. Do you really want to be against the government when that's your paycheck? And a chunk that are literally being harassed by the government in the same community. So you've got, in one building, a chunk of the people are government workers and a chunk of the people are on some kind of public assistance and a chunk of the people are being harassed and put in prison by the cops. I think it's not so easy, if that makes sense, which is why they change policies to get people out of that and to help the minority communities. If you look at minority communities, particularly, again, black and brown, you find much of the ownership, even in those communities, is not black and brown. It's very often Asian or Middle Eastern. You find that as a common problem, right? So that the own people don't own their own communities. So yes, let's keep going if I can. All right. I wouldn't agree with Mike at all. It's one bold blanket statement if I ever saw one, but I get what he's saying. There is an image that's there. The image is there, but I do think he's incorrect. However, his image is valid. That it does come across that way often. Guys, I want to go back if I could real fast. Remember something. If you can help me out, take that pandemic survey if you can. Click on the button the link I put in the description. Take the survey, help my sponsor out, finish the survey, and then share it. Do it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever's your thing. Take it and share it. It does matter. It makes my sponsors happy. Please do that if you could. And of course, if you can, throw a couple bucks my way. If you like what I'm doing, if you think it has value, you want me to keep doing it every night, I will. Patreon.com/Sharpe Way. If you got some of those Biden bucks coming, throw a little bit my way. $10 a month is fine. $25 is awesome. If you got big Biden bucks, do $100 a month because you're loaded. I love it. But if you can't do that, take the survey. That's free. It's about 5 minutes of your time. Or you can always just like, comment, share. It does work. It does help. It does move things forward. And share it into places where you think that people might like and or hate Tatum or Toure or whatever. It'll be nice. Guys, thank you so much for today. I appreciate it. I'm going to do a couple more of these videos. Some of you guys gave me some ideas. Chris, thank you for your idea. I'm going to do some more of these reaction videos. You seem to like it. You're asking for more. I'm going to do it. All good. I will see you all tomorrow.